Could you be suffering with imposter syndrome and not even know it? Welcome to Tools to Create a Better Life with myself, Glenyce Hughes. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. We are in Atlanta, Georgia with a sweet little kitty who is actually looking at me through the window, wondering what the heck am I doing? Not petting her, although the first few days she just stayed under the bed. It was kind of hard on us, but she has learned to love us. She's learned that we love cats, and so it's just so much fun. All right. Could you be suffering from imposter syndrome and not even know it like I was? I'm not even kidding. I mean, it's wow. Let's just say it's wow. So I need to back up a little bit. Many of you know, if you've been around here for a while, you know that for 11 years I was part of Access Consciousness. I was a certified facilitator. I facilitated many of the classes. And then in September of 2022, one of the facilitators of the certified facilitator training made a choice in that class that went against everything that I know consciousness to be. And we'll put a link below if we can find a video from 𝘮𝘯𝘯𝘮 about what went on. I don't really want to get into that. I don't want to make this about that. I just need to share that so that you can kind of follow along in my journey with finally figuring out how much imposter syndrome I was living. So that occurred in September of 2022. And once that occurred, I had to look at for myself what was really going on that I'd spent 11 years in this company, because this was not the first time where what I saw from the leaders didn't align with what I would say consciousness would be. And nothing as drastic as this last one. This was the one that it took for me to choose more for myself. But prior to that, there was bits and pieces and things, and all the way back to my very first CF training in 2012, there were things that went on that I went, And I was able to justify and reason it all. I'm not proud of it, but I was able to. And as I started looking over this last year of what the heck kept me in an organization where this went on, saying one thing, doing another. I myself, just again, personally never felt seen or heard or celebrated. There's these memes and quotes that go around about, hang out with people who celebrate you and want you to be there. And yeah, 11 years of never choosing that. Interesting. I'm so grateful I have changed that. However, again, that's all my stuff. This is nothing against, what other people have chose or are choosing. Just an idea of where I'm coming from with this. So when I really looked at that, what I got to is that I was being an echo. And there's a famous quote by Albert Einstein about be a voice, not an echo. And I was being an echo. For 11 years, I was being an echo for Access Consciousness. Before that, it was Theta Healing. Before that, it was. I mean, all my 20 plus years in business, I have been an echo. Now, no big deal, except what is that really? And when I had to get honest with myself about what that was really, that's where this showed up. Truly this level of imposter syndrome. So if I was echoing somebody else's work, well, then it's perfect, because it's not me being out there. Now, was I me in my business? In many ways, of course I was. And I was still operating from this imposter syndrome. I was still operating from choosing to be part of an organization that didn't align with my values, didn't align with what I know to be true in terms of consciousness and in terms of changing the world, all of those things. And I chose that based on this imposter syndrome. So once I got the energy of that, holy, that has changed so much for me. I am so incredibly grateful that one, I was willing to really, really look at it and not just make Access wrong or go down that rabbit hole, because it's not going to change anything for me personally. I'm just going to find another modality to glom onto to be an echo. And for any of you that are choosing modalities, whether you're in Access or something else or doing other modalities, please know this is not a slight against you. This is my own journey and where I've come to with it, and really had to look at what's true for me. And what's true for me is that I would so much rather be a voice. I would so much rather be a voice that shares my values and shares my what I know to be true with regards to consciousness and all of that, rather than the echo. And I had to choose beyond. I had to really crush this imposter syndrome. And I say it specifically like that because I actually have a training coming up on it. So on November 8th of 2023, so if you're watching or listening later, you can grab the replay. We'll have the link above or below to sign up for the free webinar, where I'm going to talk about a key that you can use to crush imposter syndrome. And that will be an invite to a 5-week program that I have coming up in January, all about stopping doubt. Yes. And really crushing imposter syndrome, so you can actually create and live a magical, successful business and life. Because yes, we could look at my past and go, but Glenyce, you've been very successful. I have been, absolutely. I'm not downplaying that at all. I've been very successful at being an echo. I'm really changing that. I'm really ready to be that voice, but it took me going really beyond and stopping the imposter syndrome, stopping that doubt, stopping that, oh, what would so-and-so say? No. What do I know? What do I know to be true for me? And allowing that to be what is. So it's just a whole other level of self-awareness, because truly, again, if you would have asked me if I had imposter syndrome, I would have said, no way. That is just not something that I have ever dealt with. All right. Crazy much? It's everything that I was dealing with, and I never actually knew it. And it did. It just took me, one, going through that, I was going to say horrible experience, but I was watching the experience, but it really dismantled everything for me, which I'm grateful for now. You know how often when we go through something that doesn't feel so fun to go through, and at the time it's like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. And then after it's like, oh, thank goodness. So, I mean, it wasn't the worst thing ever, because it wasn't me that was getting, cursed. But by watching it and really having to look at that for myself, and really look at, do I want to be part of an organization that curses people when they choose something different? Oh, no, actually. And then had to unravel and really unravel it all and really look at what is actually true for me and what kept me there for so long. Yeah, and that's where the imposter syndrome, there's so many different levels of it. So many different ways it can show up and keep it hidden. For some people, it can look like they feel just lucky. And I know this in probably back in 2014 to 2016, somewhere around there. I was having huge successes within my business and being invited around the world. And I mean, it continued. I don't mean it just ended in 2016, but those were the really big years for me in terms of traveling and getting to meet lots of you and really, really sharing the tools of Access Consciousness around the world. And if you would have asked me, no, I still wouldn't have told you, but privately in my own head, I never said a word out loud, but I would have told you, I'm just lucky. Yeah, I'm just lucky. That's all it is. I'm just lucky. It was my host. They did it like there was no honoring of me in that and honoring my value in that. And that is one huge piece of imposter syndrome that most people don't even know is I'm just lucky. I just lucked out. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. This thing just happened to me or for me. That's why. Oh my gosh. No. We are the magic in our lives. We know that. Well, we say that. I'm going to use myself. I said that for years and years, but it wasn't until I really started looking at it. I really started getting present with it and really acknowledging, yes, I had amazing hosts. Yes, there were so many pieces. And also, I'm freaking magical. And I'm honoring that and valuing that more than ever before. Am I 100% where I'd like to be? No. Am I getting there every day more and more? Absolutely. Absolutely. And part of that for me was really, really stepping away from the echo and into having my own voice and sharing my own voice and knowing that I have value. I have so much value beyond the certifications, beyond the crazy, beyond the all the. I am valuable. No matter what, whether I use my voice or not. I mean, it's not, my value isn't dependent on anything. I get to be valuable to me, and that's the only person that can matter to. And so it's really recognizing that and knowing that a lot of the stuff that you're possibly dealing with in business, the struggles, the upsets, the setbacks, the missing possibilities, the loss of profits that are possible, all the things could be, I'm not saying they are, but they could be imposter syndrome and how it's playing out for you and how it's showing up for you. And possibly you're like me and completely oblivious to it until now. Yeah, and it's truly just been in the last little bit that I've really looked at that and really got present with it. And yeah, chose to really change it. And then, of course, as I always do, invite you along with me if you would like to come. So again, the free training is on November 8th, all about a key to crush imposter syndrome. And then there is the invite to the 5-week program that will start in January. And as part of the training, if you choose to be part of that, you'll also get a special coupon discount for that too. So if you might be interested in the 5-week program, make sure you get into either be on my email list or hop into the training. And also the training will give you more information about the program too, so that you can know if it's a fit for you. There will be a discount code for those of you that are part of that. So have a great week, sweet friends. I look forward to chatting again next week.